Hello, everybody. Hey, dude. What's up, my friend? Yeah, I called a few people. Welcome to True Encounters with Marvin Allen and the Doug Pack. Gonna wait for some people to join. Hey, Danny. Donnie. My bad, Donnie. Hello, everyone. Hey, Lieutenant. Hey, JJ. We're gonna wait till some people get in. How everybody doing on this Saturday? Hope everybody doing good. Don't forget to hit that like, y'all. I tried to get some people to come on tonight, but it seemed like everybody I called was either busy or they couldn't get no good service. So I left it as that. I wasn't gonna push the issue. But we're gonna talk about a few things. We're gonna cover something. We're gonna always think of something. So we ain't gonna never be on here and not have nothing to come up with. Y'all already know that. And I heard last night, somebody had gave what they thought about people changing into werewolves. And they said that they just couldn't believe it. They didn't buy it because, bones would be out of place, would be popping and stuff like that. So I'm still up in the air when it come to shape shifting too, you know. Hey, brother Dre, how you doing, my friend? So I'm still up in the air on that. I don't really know. I don't really know too much about skinwalkers, only what I heard and what I read. But like I said, I'm still up in the air on that. Like I said, anything is possible, you know. That's why I say stop believing all the time about the impossible, and we gotta start believing about the possible, you know. And said something about far as doing DNA testing and finding out that these samples coming back to be human and canine. So we already knew that because Melba Ketchum had already started that journey. And they just messed her whole career up. And it was just messed up. Because she put a lot of work in. A lot of work. I did talk to my eyewitness from Michigan though, and she was telling me about some more stuff, still getting a lot of prints around our house. They still on our back porch. They still on the roof walking around. And that's the crazy part. Hey Voltron, how you doing, my friend? That's the crazy part, walking around on roofs and all that. Hey Dante Sharp, good evening, my friend. So it's sad. But it's really messed up when you cover these encounters and sightings up, when you don't let the people be aware. We know it's all about money when it come to these creatures, these cryptids. You know, they gonna lose a lot. You know, the logging industry will go out of business if they ever disclose this information that these creatures are walking around in our national forests. And don't get me wrong, they still cutting down a lot of trees, but it's still so many acres of land that has not been touched. So that's a good thing. It's still parts that ain't man ain't even been in. And we know that. We know it's still parts out here that man ain't been in. We still gonna wait for some more people to get in. You know how some people just show up late. But other than that though, we're gonna discuss some cryptids and what we think. I've been trying to get in contact with Eyewitness. I had and somebody hit. Huh? He did. And he always hit motherfucker live when I bring him the paper. Still here. Hello, hello. But they're gonna always, let a person know that they don't exist. Hey, Bizzle. But we're gonna get into it. We're gonna chop it up. Yeah, I had called trying to get in contact with this eyewitness I had that seen the goat man because I had got a message, well, no, email and saying that she had another sighting. So I'm trying to reach out to her because I definitely want to get her encounter because I know for a fact that they've been in her area for a while, for a good while. I'm gonna see if I can get Lee to come in on the night and talk about something. And see if he'll come on. I can only ask him, but hopefully he will and talk about something. We're gonna just ask him, y'all. So I'm gonna see if he'll call and see if he wanna come on and see if he's gonna talk about something. Oh, Dante calling from out Tennessee. That's what's up. We know Tennessee is definitely a hot spot. We know that. We know they down there deep. Tennessee, Louisiana, Kentucky, Mississippi. You know. But I'm still um trying to find out about that like and loop thing and how they correlate and follow all these states all the way up to Pennsylvania. And somebody shared it with me. Somebody that was part of my team shared it with me and was talking about the lichen loop. And it's almost a perfect straight line. You talking about from Texas all the way up to PA. And you know it go through quite a few states. It really do. But anyway, we're gonna talk about a few things. We can talk about paranormal. We can talk about little people. We can talk about giants, mermaids. Like I say, we cover everything on our group. You know, we want to talk about everything because people have different sightings. It ain't always Doug, man. Hey, Antonio. It ain't always Doug, man. It ain't always Bigfoot. It ain't always these other cryptids. Different people have different sightings. So that's why we decided to cover the whole thing. We ain't just want to do Doug, man. Hey, Mud Cricket. Hey. That's what's up, Mud Cricket. Paint on. Hey, Doris. Yeah, but we're going to look at a lot of things. Like I say, we just got to find out a lot of information about them. That's why when you talk about them, you got to at least have proof and information to back it up. Because there's a lot of things we don't know about, not just this cryptid, but a lot of them. It's a lot of things we don't know. That's why we seek the information, you know. That's why I be asking people to come forward, talk about it. Don't be scared. You had a paranormal experience. Wait a minute, I think he's trying to call now. I think he's trying to call now. Call back. I turned the volume up. He can recall back. I'm hoping that was him. But hopefully, hey Claire, how you doing? It's always morning there. I forgot. But you know, time can really go back, go up. So it's gonna be getting dark late. So we're gonna be start doing these much earlier. And y'all time, hopefully it changed too. So you'll be able to listen to the whole thing, which would be a good thing. I'm waiting for him to call back now, y'all. I'm gonna wait for him to call back, y'all. Call back. The volume is up. Yeah, so I'm gonna wait for him to call back and see if he hey Truth Seeker. How you doing, my friend? I'm gonna see if I can get him to come on. Hold on. Hello? Hey, it's good. I was just trying to reach you. I was like, oh man, I was trying to call people. Then I said I'm gonna call you and see if you was busy or not. Oh, that's all I wanted to hear.
Yep. Are you on right now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Awesome.
I am. I am. So you can say hi, hello to everybody.
All right. Howdy, Dog Pack. How's everybody doing tonight? It's awesome to be here tonight.
And thank you so much, Lee, for coming on.
No problem. Thank you, Marvin, for having me come on. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed talking to you about this stuff.
Yeah. And I was listening to a podcast last night, and they had brought up the subject. He was talking. Person said that they had turned in some hair samples, and it came back as human and canine.
Oh wow, human and canine.
Right, but they
Wow.
asked. They told them to take the rest of the hair back, but they gave them an empty envelope, so they kept everything.
Oh my gosh, so they confiscated it.
They definitely confiscated it.
Wow.
They didn't want it to get out.
Nope. They don't want their their chimeras being discovered, do they? It sounds like.
Right. You're absolutely right about that. They definitely don't. They definitely don't. So what you done heard new, Lee?
Well, I was supposed to have a podcast on Wednesday night, but my equipment failed me, and we're gonna try to have a redo this next Wednesday. So that's gonna be exciting. Other than that, I talked to one of the ladies that's going to be on my show, and she shared a experience with me about like right up the road here from where we live at. She saw a UFO come across the field, and it was it had white lights on it and turquoise lights. Wow. I've never heard of anything with the turquoise color to it.
Me neither.
But she said it come right down the field and passed right over her.
Wow, that's crazy.
Oh yeah. Oh, and another thing that she told me, I didn't realize this, but there's a little town just up the road from us, probably maybe 3 miles, maybe, and it was known for Indians there. They actually bought the. There's a story there on a billboard, and it tells a story about they were Potawatomi Indians, I believe, and they I forget how much they paid, but they didn't pay very much for the land there, and they there was a burial there, like there's an Indian burial mound back in there, and I forget what year she said it was, like I don't know if it was the 20s or the 30s, but some university professor went in there and they dug into this mound and they took these remains out, these bones, and they took them to the school, and they started putting the bones together, and the guy was so he was so distraught from what they discovered that he took the bones back. He made them take the bones back and bury them. And she said that the remains were giant. They were like giant giants. And she said that they had two rows of teeth, like 2 sets of teeth in them. So that's just right up the road from where we live at. We know we're surrounded by the Indian mounds and stuff like that.
Right, and that's creepy though. You know,
yes. And you know that around here, like where a lot of the UFO sightings and the Bigfoot sightings are, that's one of the things that it also has in common is there's a lot of Indian burial mounds here, and I just wonder if there's a connection to it.
You know what? It could be though, Lee. You know, it could it could all correlate. You might be you might be right about that, but it's amazing why. I mean, I just wanted to know, even though they had double, why just that race had these double rows of teeth? You know.
Yeah, really.
You know, that's what really boggled my mind.
Me too. I really don't know.
Right. No.
There's a place over in Illinois. It's called. Let me think here. What's the name of it? I just about had it. It's a big mound. It's the largest step pyramid in the United States. It's called Cahokia, and there's different mounds there. There's even like a Stonehenge like type thing there that it was like a sundial that they made out of these big poles, and you can, like, when you look towards St. Louis, you can see the arch, but the poles are off to the right hand side of it. And there is they never found any writing, like there's no writing or anything like that, and they found one tablet there that had the head of a man with wings like a bird on the tablet. It's called the Birdman tablet, I think is what it's called. But that what I kind of think is weird about it is, they've had Thunderbird sightings and different things like that over there. But could that possibly be a tie-in to Mothman? The head of a man with the wings.
And you know what though, you make a valid point there. You never know. You never know, because
That's right.
a lot of people can look at some things and misidentify it. Cause sometimes your eyes do play tricks on you. Like some people might see they might see a gugway, and they might just just say, okay, that's a Doug man right there. So sometimes your eyes do play tricks on you.
The gugway. Do you think that the gugway? Like maybe a gugway would think maybe a gugway would possibly be a mix between a dog man and a Sasquatch, for instance.
I do believe that.
Do you?
That's a good possibility. That it's mixed. It's like it's a hybrid. It's a crossbreed between a Bigfoot and a Doug man, because it has both. It has both traits. Had both traits. So
where was that found? The DNA and the canine, the human and canine DNA found at again, Marvin?
It was, in Kentucky.
Oh, in Kentucky. Oh, we're talking. If we're talking Kentucky, then we're talking like land between the lakes and
yes,
that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a major hot spot anyway.
Yeah, that's interesting. I actually want to go down there. I want to go down there in the summertime, and I want to take a boat at night, and I want to thermal image the banks and look and see what I can find from the boat.
Right.
At night, because I can cover a lot of ground on the lake.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's just sad though, because of the situation that happened back in '83 when the family was killed down there. And
oh yeah,
they saying that they think that the cologne that they had, the musket they was wearing back then, is what drove this creature to just go crazy and just kill a whole family. But that's just their theory. That's what they think. But we don't know what made this thing snap.
That that they said that they found their like body parts and stuff up in the tree, right?
The little girl, she was half eaten.
And there's a place down in there's a little town called Bee Hunter, and it's down past. Let me think here. There's a little town, and it had a little gas station there. Let me think here. What's the name of it? But anyway, down in that area, there's another little town, and I bought a book. It was called Weird Indiana, and it had strange stories of Bigfoot sightings and different things in it. And I used to drive that road all the time when I was going to college, and I remember the name of the town, but right offhand, I can't remember it now because it's been so long. But in that book, it talks about a doctor that lived in that little town, and he didn't come to work one day, and people got worried about him, and they went looking for him, and it was the same situation, Marvin, where they found them. They were tore up, like something had just shredded them, and there were body parts up in the trees, and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So that's another very close, incident like that, land between the lakes.
Right.
Massacre.
I was talking to Eyewitness, and this Eyewitness from Michigan, and she said her mother and her friend was, driving one day, and they said, they driving down, so they would be on the right side of the road. Now, just off the road, you know how that little ditch be right there, and then the tree line start up.
Mm-hmm.
They said they seen what they had thought at first was to be a bear, just laying there, just chilling. So she slowed the car down, because that's how big it was. She slowed the car down when she got like, I'm gonna say, I think she said she was like, couldn't have been no more than like uh 40 feet from it. So she slowed down. But as they got closer, she noticed, she was like, that's not a bear. Cause that thing got arms and hands. They seen this thing like ball his fingers up. They said the
Oh
thing
wow.
had balled like his fingers up and the ears went up. They shot straight up because they was laid back because this thing was laying down. They thought it was dead until it started moving.
Mm.
And they said the ears went straight up. They said it had a canine head. They said this thing it was muscular, but it had human and dog traits. Because the bottom part was just, looked like a dog. And they
Mhm.
said this thing was it was just big. So as they got really close to it, like 5 feet, and they really looked at it, she said, hold up, stop the car. She was like, no, I'm gone. And she said she just took off. She said, because she never seen nothing like that in her life. This thing was just laying out for anybody to see it.
Wow. That probably saved their life that she took off, you know it?
Yeah, absolutely, because it might have been doing that for a reason.
Yeah.
They wanted somebody to get out the car and come over
Yeah,
and
like
investigate.
acting like playing possum, like they were laying there thinking, we'll ambush something that comes over here to try to take care of us.
You absolutely right. And I wonder if they do stuff like that. Play
um,
possum.
I could definitely see them doing stuff like that. Now I know that sometimes, like deer, for instance, like
Yeah.
when you hunt deer, they'll lay right up next to the road, and they'll lay real close to where hunters park. Especially like a big trophy buck and smart deer, they'll lay right next to where the hunters will park, and the hunters will go in the woods, and then they'll just walk across the street to another woods, and and all the time they were laying within 20 feet,
Right.
of a deer hunter. So the animals are smart like that. Yes, they do. They do things like that.
They absolutely are, and you absolutely right, Lee. They are smart. They are. I mean, and they intelligent. They
Oh,
definitely
absolutely.
intelligent. That's why when you look at it, how come so many um researchers can't really get no footage of this creature? It's like it noticed the camera there.
I think they can see in the infrared spectrum. I think they can see
A lot,
thermal
a
imaging
lot, and
the infrared.
a lot of people say that too.
Well, their eyesight is very keen, especially a coyote, and they rely on their senses. So they rely on their eyesight. They rely on their sense of smell, their ears, and and their nose or whatever you smell. And who's to say, like batteries, for instance? You put batteries in the these cameras, and maybe the batteries batteries will off gas over time. So maybe they're picking up the scent of the batteries coming out of the the electronics, and they're smelling the plastic.
Right.
Because we can smell the plastics. A lot of times. And I think they not only smell them and see them, they may even possibly hear them, because some of those cameras, when you activate them or break a beam, they will make a clicking noise. And it's a very slight clicking noise. And if you don't pay attention, you won't hear it. It's almost like you can hear the aperture open and close on the camera lens.
Right. You absolutely right. You absolutely right. But it's just amazing how they can just avoid all these cameras all at once. You can have 5 cameras up, and these things will literally walk the opposite way just to avoid all these cameras. Just not so they won't be detected, because they intelligent. They know when something is out of place. And we was talking about this one weekly. We was talking about this, and I said, you know what? I think the reason why these creatures can do so much and they have more, ability than humans have is because they use a larger part of their brain.
Yes.
That's why they can do the things that they do.
Well, they use the primal. They're using the primal part of their brain.
Right.
Like my friend Bud, when he was in was in the war in Vietnam and stuff like that. He said, like, even as a human being, because it's a life or death situation when you're out there, your body becomes in tune with your surroundings. And he said it's like your hearing gets more intense, your sense of smell gets more intense, and your eyesight gets better, because you have to rely on that to survive. And he figured, when he was put in that situation, because it's live or die, or fight or flight type thing all the time, that in that type of a situation, you become like an animal. That's the closest man becomes to an animal. When they're in the war, and then they're like in the predator mode. You know what I mean? So these things are on point. They are right there. They're focused, and everything is working 100% more than what me and you, just living every day is going through. We're just, bumbling around through life, and these things are out there relying on every sense and every smell and eyesight and hearing and the whole 9 yards.
Now listen to Mud Cricket say, and we talked about this the other day. It's a possibility. She said they could be, sitting somewhere and watching you put the cameras up too.
Yes. I believe that. That totally makes sense. Yeah, they watched you put them there. That's correct. I stopped using my cameras, when I was, when I deer hunt, because, when I would put them out, even the deer get used to them, and they'll walk around them. Like a big buck, if he knows it's in the area, they'll come right up to the camera just as soon as you put them out. As soon as they walk, they'll walk right up to the camera, and they'll look right in it, and they'll sniff it, and then you'll never see them again on that camera, especially the big ones.
You absolutely right. You absolutely right, Lee. That's why I say these creatures is just so smart. And we've been talking about the goat man too.
Talking about what?
The goat man.
Yes. Did you see that? It was an interview that Greg Yost did with the guy they called the Champ down in Louisville, Kentucky, that actually had a face-to-face encounter with the goat man and survived.
No.
It was trying to get his son. It was a guy down in Kentucky. I don't know what his real name is. I actually have talked to Greg Yost, and I had his son Eugene's phone number. And if I can get a hold of him, I'm going to try to get a hold of that guy down in Kentucky for you, Marvin, and see if he'll do an interview. If you want me to, I can arrange it for you. But this thing lured his son out of where he was fishing at, and basically put his son in a trance, and his son was like walking in a trance, like right up to this thing, and the guy that they called the Champ saw his son getting up, because he said it was like, I don't know, like 1 o'clock in the morning. He said it was pitch dark, and he said when his son went there with him to catfish, he said they just sit right there on the bank, and his son wouldn't go anywhere because, he's kind of afraid of the dark. He'd stay right by the lantern. Well, his son got up and started moving towards the road and back up towards this bridge here, and anyway, the Champ got up and followed him because he was like out of character for his son to do that. And he got right behind him. And when he got up to where his son was at, the goat man was standing in front of him. And the Champ got in between him and the goat man. And he said he looked at the goat man and then looked back at his son and then looked at the goat man, and he said, I don't know if he squared up on him like he was going to fight him, because he said, he was either going to get him or,
right.
He was going to fight this thing, I take it. And when that thing saw that he wasn't afraid of it, it hopped over the bridge and hopped into the water, and then he said he shows in the video how the thing moves its shoulders back and forth, and it swam out into the main part of the river there.
It probably swim just like us.
Well, yeah. Well, he said it wasn't like, it didn't like move its arms or anything like how we do. You know how like a fish moves back and forth. Like it had its hands down by its side and it was moving back and forth.
Okay, I got you.
Like a snake would move, kind of like that.
Sideways motion.
Yes, but he said this guy said that there were a bunch of homeless people that had lived down there along this riverbank, and he said the police knew that these homeless people were coming up missing, and some of them they was finding dead along the river, and that the champ said that goat man is what was getting those people under that bridge.
Damn.
And he said he tried to tell them, but the police, but they just like blew him off. You know, they didn't want to investigate it or anything. But he said there was a lot of homeless people that came up missing under that bridge, and he said he encountered him. And what the size that he shows, it looked like he was. The goat man thing was probably about 5 foot tall. He said he was about 5 foot tall, and he was jet black, and he had hands or arms like a person would have, but he had the ram horns, like the goat horns.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he said that thing was pure evil. He said you could just feel the evil coming off of it.
Now,
but he saved his boy's life though, because he got in between them.
Oh yeah. Now see, you just clarified something for me, Lee, and I told everybody on here. I said I never had a eyewitness that came to me and said that they saw a 7 or 8 foot tall goat man. They always been like a smaller size, like you said, 5, 6 feet.
Yes.
You know. Not real big like the Doug man or Bigfoot.
Right.
But they still massive. They still cut up.
Oh yeah, yes.
You know. They still cut up.
I guess that they called that guy the champ because he was a boxer. So like he wasn't afraid, to get in the ring and fight. People. So when he stood up there with this thing, he was getting ready to take it on.
Right. See, this the thing. Though.
His son got lucky, man.
Yeah, this the thing though. You got all these cryptids, and even though you got so much land out here that ain't even been touched, I wonder if these creatures living side by side without really no conflict. Like it could be a goat man over here. And it could be Douglas over there walking. I wonder if they just look and go about their business.
Like they look at each other like we don't want no part of that over there.
Right. If they got like a agreement, okay, we're not gonna go over there and do nothing.
Right.
And y'all don't come over here and do nothing.
Well, it's like bears and wolves. I mean, they kind of leave each other alone.
Right.
Unless they're fighting over food. Unless the times get real lean and they get real hungry. I did have something I want to discuss with you, Marvin, about one of Vic's stories on his channel, and I don't know if you remember this or not, but it was the one where the guy was deer hunting, and a dog man was coming at him like growling and like it was going to tear him up, and he said there wasn't no way it was going to outrun him, but then that he was going to outrun it. But then another dog man came in and he started fighting with him like that was all he needed to get away, because the two were fighting and really going at it. Do you remember that story? I
think I do. I do.
And then he ended up. He said that him and his wife lived in a cabin somewhere or whatever, and he also said there were Bigfoot on his property, and that they would feed him. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And anyway, the dog man came to where his cabin was, or a dog man came to the cabin, and then what made him go outside was there was blood all over the side of his truck, and there was a deer, like something had put a deer in the bed of his truck, a bloody deer carcass. Do you remember that? That sound familiar?
I remember that one too.
Okay, well, this is what my take is on that. That dog man, this is just what I think. That kid got scared and he run at that dog man. It's like he was going to attack it because he's afraid that it was going to hurt him and his girlfriend or whatever. I think that dog man brought that guy a deer and put it in the bed of his truck to say, "I'm sorry, he ruined your hunt." That's just kind of what that was kind of my take on that story.
That could be the possibility. And you know what? I have had an eyewitness that said that that she when she first seen this thing, she just thought it was just a big dove. Because she was out in the country and she used to plant her flowers and stuff, and the tree line can't be no more than 20 feet from where her little property was. But anyway, she said she seen this thing laying out there one day, so she thinking it's just just some kind of wild dove. So she goes in the house, gets some chicken, and she like, how we like, come here, boy. You know what I mean? She like that. So she
Yeah.
throws the chicken over there, but it don't. She said it didn't go and investigate and grab the chicken at first. Waited till she walked back to the porch, and then came down and do it. She said she used to do this every day. Every day she used to do that. It like it was just be out there on clockwork, waiting for his food.
Expecting it.
Yeah, waiting for his food. It'd be laying right up there in the same spot, and she would do it. Go out there and feed it. She said until it came up on the porch one day. Said she was out there and she wound up dozing off, and but she still had her eyes closed. But she said she can hear, something coming up the steps real heavy because it started screeching. And she said she squinched her eyes, and she said this thing came up to her, and it literally sniffed her, Lee. Literally sniffed her, and she said she could smell the foul odor coming from this thing. She said, but she didn't move, she didn't flinch, she didn't do nothing. She said she just played sleep.
That's probably smart on her part.
Yeah, that's close.
That is close.
That's close. That's close.
It's the dogman thing. It just really baffles me. I mean, has somebody opened up a portal and let these things out? Are they a protector of the portals? Are they genetically modified chimeras? It's just that's something.
It do blow your mind because you like, man, what the hell is Doug's doing walking around like us?
Mm-hmm.
It do blow your mind though, but we can come up with all kind of theories that that we want, but we know these creatures been around for thousands of years.
Oh yeah. Well, Anubis in Egypt had the head of a dog.
Yes, they did. And what they was the guardians of the underworld.
Something like that, yeah. And then you tell a story about the what was it, Alexander the Great capturing some in warfare, in the war.
Yep, he definitely did.
That blew my mind when you said that, Marvin. That was really interesting, man.
It's making me think, how the hell did he really capture them? Don't get me wrong, he had a big army, but he had to use some good weapons.
Man, they had to have some kind of I bet they got them with some kind of net, like big old. It had to have been some kind of big nets or something. You know what?
Yeah, you absolutely right.
Marvin, back in those days, they may have even been using bolas. Do you know what a bola is? Ebola, it's like a rock. It's like a rock tied on a rope, and then it has another rock on the other end of it, and you swing it and you throw it, and it when it hits like a prey or whatever, it'll go around their legs and wrap their legs up and trip them to the ground.
It'll tie them up, yeah.
Yeah, they could have used something like that on them.
Now, thinking about the Anubis, I be looking at this movie called what is it? It's called Gods of Egypt. Made a movie about it, and it's about the underworld and about gods and stuff like that. So anyway, one of the girls that got shot with an arrow in the heart, she died. So the guy did some kind of spell, and he had called Anubis, and this thing came up from the ground with smoke from the underworld, and he came up to take her body. And what he asked the girl, he said, what do you have? And the girl said, all I have is my smile. So Anubis looked at her and said, so be it. And he took her down to the underworld. They took her down there. She had to go and get judged and everything. So people that had gold and stuff like that, they would make it to the afterlife. But the people who didn't have nothing, torment.
Oh, wow.
And that Anubis had to be about 11, 12 feet. That thing was huge.
Oh, wow.
That thing was big.
Wow. And hey, how like everything is perfect, like in the pyramids and stuff, like, they made all the angles and different things perfect. Does that mean all the statues that they built were built to scale too?
Right.
Like you said, 12 feet tall Anubis.
Right. But if you ever look at the hieroglyphics on the wall of the kings and stuff like that, they are they are big in stature compared
Yes.
to their servants. Because I looked
Mhm.
at, I was like, how come the king is way bigger than the servants and stuff?
Mhm. And
So that,
they carried. And another thing is they always wore like like the the headdress and stuff like that. Like how like King Tut had
hey
a
Lisa,
headdress thing on, and
yeah,
they carried staffs. Like the staffs of power or whatever.
right.
But what kind of function did those things have? You know what I mean? They had some type of technology that was just out of this world.
That's what I'm saying though, because look at the statue of Ramsey. I think it was like four of them. I mean, they huge, and look how perfect that these things was carved.
Yeah, and how did they handle that stuff, Marvin?
That's what I don't.
How in the world did they handle that stuff?
It's crazy because they was cutting these obelisks right out the side of a right out the side of a mountain.
Yeah, and
They,
like those, like the obelisks and the hieroglyphics that we see, like we've seen them in books and on, shows and things.
mhm,
Those things look like they were laser cut, man. They
it
look
do.
like they were cut with a machine.
So
Like they're perfect.
right. So what that tell you? They had some type of help and technology.
Yes, they did.
It's like
Hmm.
whoever came down to help them with that and gave them the technology, they took it back from them.
Yes. Yeah,
They took it
I
back
believe it.
from them.
You know what, Marvin? Those people back then, like, they could have walked between worlds. Walking like between portals, and like it wasn't nothing. They knew things that we will never probably find out in our lifetime that's been hidden from us. And that's another thing. Like the giants that they're finding in these mounds and stuff
Hmm.
like that. That
Hmm.
they've taken the bones and the bones have mysteriously disappeared.
And it all
Why are they hiding our history from us?
right, and it's always
Everybody
got
is
something to
entitled
do
to
with
that.
what's that place where all the bones go at?
Smithsonian.
They always say, oh, it ain't no giant bones here. Well, what y'all do
Mm-hmm.
with them?
Yeah, right. Yeah, they don't want to tell us that there were giant humans, but they want us to believe that there were giant dinosaurs. What's up
Right,
with that?
that's crazy.
You know
And,
what I mean? And
and
I went to a museum one time, and they had this. It was actually the Indianapolis Museum, Children's Museum is what it was, and we took some people there, some kids, and we were standing there, and there was this guy, and he was giving a speech about it, and this thing was called Super Croc, right? And it was a big, giant dinosaur skeleton that they have laid out in this thing. And this guy's saying, well, we were on this dig, and we was doing this, and we dug this, and we found this and that. And so I looked at him finally, and I said, hey, how much of this skeleton right here is real? Is a real fossil. And he said, you see the tooth up there in the front on the right hand side? He said, that's the only real fossil that's in there. So they had taken a tooth and made a big crocodile out of one tooth. And I looked at him and I said, well, I guess we know why it's called Super Croc now.
and I could believe that, dude, because they said that they was taking parts that didn't go to a dinosaur and really making it up.
Right. We don't know what they have, and we do know they've hid a lot from us that we've heard.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's like the dog man. They're not going to come loose and tell us what that is. We'd probably be all scared to death. Probably opened up a portal when they detonated the first nuclear bombs. It probably shook things up, let things out.
You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Lee, and I believe that.
Oh yeah.
So they not gonna tell us. They not gonna tell us for so much.
Oh no. Not even. Have you had many Puckwudgie reports, Marvin, about the little Puckwudgies? Those things are supposed to be here in Indiana, like especially up around Mound State Park, and they're supposed to be these little dwarf creature-looking things, and they're supposed to be, I don't know, maybe 3 foot tall, but they're supposed to have like a muzzle on them, like a dog. Have you heard this? And they say I've heard reports that they wear cloaks, like cloaked, little cloaked humanoids with muzzles. Isn't that creepy? Are you still there, Marvin? Hey, Dog Pack, how you doing out there?
You right.
Good to see everybody.
Lisa. Hey Lisa. Yeah, but it's just so much stuff though that they not gonna tell us, and we know Smithsonian was keeping a lot of stuff from us,
Yeah, oh yeah.
and I think it's still bodies, giant bodies out here to this day. People just ain't found them yet.
Mm-hmm. I was asking earlier before you come back here about the puckwudgies. Have you ever heard of the puckwudgies, Marvin? And
Yes,
have you had many reports on them?
No, not too many. I had reports on little people. I'm talking about small. You talking about 8, 9
You talking
inches.
about like the Cherokee little people?
Yeah, the real small ones.
The puckwudgies, I've heard them described as being about 3.5 foot to 4 foot tall, and they wear these like little cloaks. I take it, and they have supposed to have like a dog muzzle face. Have you heard that, Marvin?
Yes, I have.
That's there's another dog man, like almost a dog man link. You know it?
Yeah,
that's a dog type creature. Right. If it has a muzzle on it.
You're absolutely right, because I have seen one that got caught on. He went inside this like a little cave thing where they was living at, and one had like a elongated nose and mouth.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally elongated, and it had ears just like a dog. Sitting on his head, sitting straight up, and it was sleep.
Oh, wow.
It was literally sleep. And these things were small. When I say they were small, they was tiny. Couldn't be no more than 8 to 9 inches.
Oh, wow.
These things was little. This is what I'm saying, though. We was talking about this, Lee. If they that small, what kind of weapons did they use against predator? People came up with, they could have used poison from a snake, a frog, a scorpion, things like that. They could have used like sticks. They could have carved them and made them out of spears. But they so small, it's like they can really conceal themselves, but it's still a lot of predators out there.
Did I share that little picture or that picture, the little footprint that I found in the?
But that was on the old page. Lady.
Yeah, on the old page. What I was going to tell you, I've never really told anybody this about that picture, but so one of the weird things, like if that was a little person. Like that footprint was a little. I don't know what it was. I'm suspecting a juvenile Sasquatch is what I think it is. But when you find something like that, who knows what it is? Yeah. And one of the weird things about it is, guess what was in front of that footprint?
What?
There was an arrow, a crossbow bolt with a broadhead on the end of it, and it was embedded in the ground, and it was almost as if whatever that was standing there looking at it.
Wow.
Like looking at the crossbow bolt. So what I did was I pulled the crossbow bolt out of the ground and I leaned it against a tree in case whatever that was wanted to come back and get it. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So, but I had somebody tell me one time, they said, as big as Bigfoot is and Dogman and how elusive they are, could you imagine how elusive the little people would be? You'd never see them.
You'll never. That's what I'm saying. It's amazing how people do come across them because they so small.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like furries. If we really don't see them fly, we won't even know they there.
Right.
Because they say some look just like flowers. They just blend in.
Oh yeah, and how many? There's another thing, Marvin. Like an octopus and different animals out in the ocean. They can like chameleon lizards, for example, can lay on a branch of a tree and turn into the same color. They can change their skin color to blend right into the branch of a tree. Maybe some of these creatures have evolved and have that. And how many of them are out there in the woods that we don't have any clue they even exist because we can't find them because we can't see them. They're blending in.
It's just amazing now. This happened in Louisiana, right? The guy had some friends over. Now, he knew that Doug men would swim up this channel every day, clockwise, same time. So,
oh wow!
One guy out there, other people up by the house talking. He walks down, and he sees this thing in the water, but he don't know what it is at first. So he goes in the house and he grabs the shotgun. He comes out. He starts shooting. Boom. People like, yo, what the hell? The guy runs out the house and say, what you doing? This thing turns in the opposite direction and swims over there where he at. He gets to the bank of the water. He stands up and he walks. The guy say, man, what the hell is that? He say, look, he snatched the gun. Look, them things don't bother me and I don't bother it. He say when that thing saw him take the gun from the guy, he looked, tilted his head to the side, he said, and turned and went back into the water. Like they had an agreement. You don't bother me, I don't bother you.
Wow.
Now tell me that's not intelligence.
It is. And you know, that man had that understanding and that thing didn't even have to say a word. It was like they both had an understanding right there. You know what I mean? Like he had a knowing. Like this thing didn't even have to communicate to him other than body language with each other, you know?
Absolutely, Christopher. You're definitely part of the Doug Pack. You're a pack member for life.
Awesome.
Yeah, but when I heard that, I'm like, man, that's just amazing.
And you know, Marvin, these things travel. These things have a tendency to travel the creeks and the waterways. Yeah. And it's a main source of food. All that.
Yep, power lines. And why do they do that? Is it a safe corridor for them? Because ain't too many humans gonna follow that.
Well,
route.
There's a place down here. Let me think. What's the name of? Oh, shoot! It's down around Vincennes, and it's like it's a UFO hotspot down there. And they see these black triangles flying down along the power lines, and they see different UFOs. There's been reports of different UFOs traveling these power lines. And maybe that's the reason why they're associated with the power lines. You know, most animals are creatures of what's known as, like a deer, for instance, is a creature of edge. A lot of animals are creatures of edge, which means they'll travel the edge of a woods, or they'll travel like a logging road inside of a woods that's a straight line. Yeah. Animals will tend to follow stuff like that, like just go down along the edges of them. Well, a power line, it's just nothing but a straight shot, so they can stay, they can move and cut across, long stretches of cleared out ground, and then jump in the woods if something comes out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And we was talking about this too, Lee. We was talking about as far as like when these Doug women get pregnant and, get ready to have that baby, they gotta have a certain spot where they keep them at, where they give birth.
Yeah.
Where they not around no predators, because trust me, I know the pack probably gonna stay around those females and not leave their site. They're gonna go get food and everything and bring back.
Oh yeah.
So when these little ones are born, what do the mother do? Do they suckle them? Because you figure their teeth are got to be sharp.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Do they suckle them, or do they just feed them food? Right. Do they just give them straight up raw meat? That's something we don't know, because these things' teeth would be so sharp that you figure it would cut the teeth out.
Right. It would pierce them. But like that. There's been you've had accounts where people have said they've seen more than one, like a breast or teats on them.
Yeah.
So that would have a tendency to tell you that they would nurse, and that they would be nursing more than one, or have the capability of nursing more than one. But, so I would say from a certain point, they probably wouldn't have as many teeth yet. Have, like a baby, for instance. They just have gums when they're first born.
Well, their teeth probably so small that they still probably, like they like brittle. They like brittle, but they not really sharp. So they probably do nurse them, probably maybe for the first couple of weeks, the month, who knows? And then they just start putting them on, raw meat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Raw meat, because I I don't see them nursing all the way up to no year.
You know, Marvin, they talk about how the Sasquatch and the Bigfoot, they have a stench about them, and they even talk about there being a stench on these dog men also.
Yes.
You know, they talk about the smell of rotting flesh. Maybe the Bigfoot use deer pelts and deer hides and different things like that, or different animals, and for skin. And the reason why I say that is because my wife was talking to a guy who's an old homeless guy that lives in town here, or around town where we live at. We live out in the country, but where the closest town is. But anyway, he told her a story about a man he bought a pickup truck off of back in the 50s. And he said he went and he bought this pickup truck off this man, and he was checking it out and everything, and then he noticed there was a bullet hole in the dash of the truck. You know, that old trucks had the metal dashes in the, so like the old 30s and 40s vehicles, they had metal dashboards.
Right.
Anyway, there was a big old hole blowed in the dashboard where a gun had discharged and shot a hole in the dashboard. And so what this guy tells him is, when there's a river up here, it's called Eel River, that it ties into a bigger river, and it's not a real wide river. I mean, it's a pretty good sized river, but anyway, the man used to go fishing all the time that had the pickup truck, and he was fishing one night, and he got tired, so he went and he laid down in his pickup truck, and he wakes up because the truck is shaking, and he's thinking that the wind's picked up and that there's a storm blowing in. And so he sits up in the pickup truck, and he said there's this big tall hairy man shaking his vehicle, and he was so close to it that he could see that this thing was wearing animal skins. And he got so scared that when he went to pull his gun out, the gun went off inside the vehicle and blowed a hole in the pickup truck, and he fired that thing up and got the hell out of there. And he really loved to go fishing, and he told that man, he said, after that happened to me, he said, I never went fishing again. And he said, I always loved to fish, but I will never go back.
Wow.
Ever go fishing again like that.
Yeah.
And that old man told my wife, he said, I believe that man, because he said, you don't love fishing that much and not ever go back.
Right, absolutely. I had an eyewitness, right, Lee, come out of Ohio, and he said he was up there, and he used to go down near the levees, and they used to park and stuff. So he said he had found this spot one time. He go down there, he park. They go down this little thing down near on the other side of this levee, and they park. And he said it's like little gravel rocks down there, but he said it's like little bushes and woods like right there. So he said he right there. So he said, I'm going to go over here and, take a leak. So he said he go over there and take a leak. He said, but while he over there, he hears something rustling in the bushes, but he don't know what it is. So he hurry up and go back over there. They say, man, I don't know what's over there, but I heard something over there rustling in the bushes. Now, he like leaning up against the side of his car. So he heard it again, but now it's on the opposite side of the car. Now, mind you, their car is facing, they went in and they turned back around. So when they leave out, it's the car facing back up, going towards up there near the levee and near the road. So he facing that way. So he leaning on the car. He hears the rustling again. So he was like, man, I don't know what's out here. So I'm gonna go ahead and sit in the car. So they sits in the car. So while they sitting in the car, he said he had the lights on. They had the music up. They had the music. He said that's when he sees something quick flash, run out of the bush and run, back towards their car. So he said he looks out the rear view, out the mirror, up top, the little rear view mirror. He said he looks up there. He said first thing he noticed was this dark black figure. This dark black figure.
Wow.
And he see them yellow eyes. So he was like, man, what the is that? He said, I don't know what it is. So man, let's just leave. So he he's starting the car up, and while he's starting the car up, and he's starting to put it in, he say the wheels, not a wheel spin.
Yeah.
He say rocks just spin out and just hit this thing.
Oh man.
And this thing stood up. He said this thing mad. He say, man, they took off. Get up there, they get on the main road and they riding down across these levees. So he say this thing got after them. He said this thing was swiping at the car. He said if they fishtail, that's how hard this thing hit him.
Oh man.
He said, but as they got up to this road, it was a turnoff where you can make it on the right, where you can go down and you can turn off and go back into town. They say this thing chased them once they made that bend. That's when this thing stopped and it just stood up there. He said this thing looked like it was just mad, yo. It was mad because them rocks hit it. I'm like, wow.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, boy, y'all lucky. Hey, easy design. I said, y'all lucky.
Oh man.
That thing was
very
mad.
Lucky.
That thing was mad.
Man, what do you think one would do if they got a hold of you, Marvin? I think it'd be
oh man,
into
it's
the
like,
world.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too, because you gotta think they got all the opportunity in the world and to just grab a person, and it's nothing you can do.
And you know, Marvin, I was just thinking the other day. I have walked thousands and thousands and thousands of acres deer hunting, and I know I've probably been in their territory a time or two because I've been in some thick brush, and I've been way back. I mean, miles back
right.
in it, and I know that I was in their territory, and by good luck, I've been fortunate enough to make it out.
Right, but
they let me leave. They didn't take me or try to take me. But I'm sure there's been more than once that they've been.
Oh, absolutely. But I think they didn't see you as a threat either, Lee.
Right.
They know
right.
you there. They know you there hunting.
Right.
You doing the same thing they doing. You know, they didn't see you as a threat. They didn't see you going in there hunting for them or aiming your gun at them. It's just, I'm sure they probably seen you hundreds of times.
Oh yeah. Especially on the river bottoms where I used to go. Oh man.
Okay.
I used to go in. I would go in an hour before daylight, and I would walk. That's how far I would walk. I'd probably walk a good 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes back to where I was hunting at, and I'd be walking into pitch black without lights, going down along the edge of the riverbanks, and I know there was stuff back up in there. It's just too woolly back in there, and there's caves and all kinds of stuff in there.
Hey, Lieutenant, ask him if he got a Doug man encounter.
You got somebody going to share one, Marvin?
I think he said somebody wanted to call in.
Oh my gosh, Marvin, that's awesome.
Yeah. Hey,
come on, caller.
Hey, Christopher, do you got a Doug man encounter? Do you want to call in? I'm waiting for him to see if he gonna want them texts back, because that would be good.
Oh yeah.
To hear Doug man encounter. How D doing?
Dee's doing really well. She's doing really well. She's been really busy. She's, they've got a business, and they stay busy a lot. So, but she's doing really well, and I'll probably see her in the next few days and touch base with her.
Right. It's
remember those videos that she sent you, like of the orbs and stuff like that?
Yes.
We talked to a lady by the name of Lauren Fenton, and she's she does like a lot of the UFO conferences and stuff. And I sent her an email and reached out to her, and she's got a TV show called Orb Hunters, and I'm not sure where it's at or how to find it yet, but she's wanting to review Dee's orb footage.
Okay, now. Yeah, that would be good. Now, he said this, Lee. I think Christopher Levin said that he said I think he got some serious paranormal encounters.
Okay.
So.
Do you want me to let you go, Marvin?
I'm trying to see if he want to call in.
Come on, Christopher, you can do it,
Christopher,
man.
do you want to call in now?
Let's see here. Christopher, come on, Christopher. You can do this, man.
You want to call in now, Christopher? Paranormal, like I said, we cover everything, not just cryptids, but we, paranormal too.
Oh, yeah.
So do you want to call in now, Christopher? I'm waiting for him to text and see what he said. Chris will listen to all things nobody else. Believers, take your time. No pressure.
No pressure.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Though Lisa said, I'm so happy to hear Lee.
Well, I'm happy to hear and see Lisa on here.
Right. Christopher, do you want to call in and talk about your paranormal experiences? I'm waiting for him to text in.
That's one of the hardest things for people to do is to want to share their experiences. You know, Marvin.
Yeah, but that's the thing is though. Once they do share it, they feel a whole lot better.
Oh, yeah.
When they can open up and be like, man, I did it.
Hey, you know what, Marvin? We are conspiracy therapists.
Yes, absolutely,
You know what?
absolutely, absolutely.
And that's the good thing about your show, Marvin, is you listen to people and you don't judge them like they've been judged their whole life, and they never felt like they had anybody that they could reach out to. And isn't that a sad way of looking at things? That because it's not written in a book, or the scientific world hasn't okayed it and said that it exists. It doesn't exist.
Right.
But they don't know everything.
You absolutely right. You absolutely right. You absolutely right. That's why I say, when people, that's why a lot of people be scared to come forward. When they say, I saw a werewolf, and people be like, man, you ain't see no werewolf. You was
Right.
They just, and that's what make people go into a depression state, and they shut down, and they don't want to talk to nobody. And
Right.
it ain't good to leave stuff in bottled up.
That's right. And once you open up about it and you're able to talk about it, and you don't worry about what everybody else thinks, then it really sets you free. When I stepped up to the microphone down in Kentucky in a room full of people, I was scared to death. But after I told my story, it was just like liberated. I felt liberated.
Oh, yeah.
I was sitting in that room, and Britton Solwyn was sitting 2 seats in front of me listening to my story.
Wow. Wow. Do you know he had a guy on there one time that had some pictures of a small Bigfoot? Couldn't have been no more than 2 feet, 3 feet.
That was Greg Yost. And Greg Yost was at that conference with us. And he's the one that did the interview with the champ that saw the goat man.
That's the
and
best.
I actually think that he worked with that man where he worked at.
That was the best picture I seen.
Oh yeah.
Of a small
You know
one.
what, Marvin? Those Bigfoot people down there, they were just blowing him off. They were just like blowing him off, like, well, this ain't no big deal. I don't see this, and I actually got to see his. I actually got to see the original pictures. He showed me the original pictures. He had more than that. He had a picture of one that it looked like eyes sitting back up underneath like a bank, like where this bank had washed out, and it looked like a mama Bigfoot and a baby sitting up underneath the bank.
Wow.
And when he went up there to go look at it, he got deathly sick and started throwing up and had to get out of there.
Yeah, I see it, Lieutenant. Thanks. Now, what's the guy name from Canada that they tried to say he was a hoax? Now he pulled the court all them.
Is it Todd
Standings? Yeah, because they tried to say that he was the Bigfoot and all that, and it's just I don't know what to think of that.
When they don't want you to believe something, the first thing they do is demonize you. You know what?
Yeah, absolutely. They will. They will say, "Oh, that was him. That was him in a mask, and he did that." And I already know that. That's what they do, though.
Oh Oh yeah.
That's what
Oh
they
yeah.
do. The government say, look, these creatures don't exist. And people will be like, I knew they didn't exist. I knew what I saw was a bear. Yeah, all right.
Hmm.
They got you to change your story.
Well, when that Roswell thing happened, and they found all that debris and everything, and then to cover their tracks, they start telling. They put out a newspaper article after they had already said, confirmed that it was crash debris from an alien. Then they put out another story. It says it's a damn weather balloon.
Yeah.
Well, I take it that the term conspiracy theory that we all have come to learn and know now, that was coined by the CIA as a cover for that story.
Right.
So anytime they call you a conspiracy theorist, that's their way of saying, "Oh, those people are just full of it. They
Right.
didn't really see what they saw." Well, don't tell me what I have seen,
Right.
because I have seen it.
Right.
Don't tell me I haven't seen it, because I have seen it with my eyes. And when you see it, you can't unsee it.
You absolutely right. Hey, Lisa, the new number is 443-416-5331. 443-416-5331. You right. You can't unsee it. You absolutely right. You absolutely right. That's why people. But see, the government gonna do whatever they gotta do to keep a person in limbo.
Right,
To keep
and they don't want to be held accountable for any of this stuff getting out, because if they've had all this knowledge that all this time that they've had all this stuff, and all this stuff has been real and existed, and they've hid it all this time, and they've hid it because they're gaining something from it. They're either gaining knowledge or they're gaining technology from it, and they're not going to share it with us. They're going to hide it as much as they can. So they got to make you look crazy in order for them to be able to hide it.
You
Sorry, I'm just
absolutely right.
rambling on, guys.
No, you absolutely right though. You absolutely right. They don't want us to They don't want us to know about these things. That's why I said it's all about money. Because if the day of tomorrow, if they ever say, look, it's cryptids in these woods, go in there at your own risk. Now that means you don't give a fuck about the people.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But see, the only thing they said they can't do, they say, look, we know they in there. They just say they can't. You know how they can control the neighborhoods and control the streets. But they say we can't control these things in these woods. But their technology is so advanced, more than ours. Y'all can see these things from 1,000 miles away, probably.
Yeah, they probably got watch tracking them in real time with satellites.
That's what they doing though. But who to
They
say?
probably even have a beam directed energy weapons that they could be tracking them with that, and if they got out of hand, they could hit them with a directed energy weapon.
Right.
Send a team in to get them.
Now, but pose some of these. Hey, lamp of light, how you doing? Now, pose some of these creatures are, I guess, alien orientated, however you want to put it in, because some people think because Dugman have been seen with these little small gray entities on their shoulders, and they be talking to them like in their ear, like it's telling them something. So I think some do have something to do with aliens.
Absolutely, I believe that,
because Scott Carpenter has them on his tape. He has some good video of it. I mean, the alien, you can see it, and it's definitely moving its mouth.
Wow, Marvin, the picture of Patty, the Patterson-Gimlin film,
Yes.
Where the Bigfoot's
Yes.
coming across Bluff Creek? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
The original footage?
Yes.
I was looking at that the other day, and I've got a big screen, like a projector on the wall, so I can blow things up and look at stuff. And I was looking at that picture of Patty walking across Bluff Creek, and it was, just an image, just a still image of it. And they say, oh, it's got a breast. Like, it looks like it's got a breast on there. Well, I got to looking at that, and you know what that looks like, Marvin? It looks like a baby. It looks like a baby hanging on around the mama's neck. What people are thinking of as a breast looks like the rear end of the baby. hanging down off the front. You know how
Wow.
like a baby will grab a hold of the fur
Right. So
and hold on?
right. So you looking at maybe the baby backside.
Yes, and if you get a chance, to look at that image, and it's a real famous image of that thing, and look at that breast area, and think of it in the context of a juvenile Sasquatch hanging on, and it looks like that's what it looks like to me. Very possible,
And you
very
know
possible.
you know what? You make a good valid point now. Because it could have been, but they said that Patty wasn't the only one in that video.
I saw something about that, and I'd like to see some more about that. I'd like to see how many was there. I bet there was more than one there.
But they said it was more. It said it was more than one, but yeah. But I want to look at that though, because you make a good point now, Lee. Because that's just what it could have been.
Oh yeah, and when you see the photograph, if you see it when it's blowed up like that, it's just like it's like you can almost see the hip, like the hip on the baby, and it's like it's got its head. It's got the baby's got its head like on the mama's shoulder,
like in the shoulder,
like it's on its shoulder,
like near the side of the neck.
Right, and it almost looks like its little arm is wrapped around the mama's arm, and it's like got its head on the shoulder, and because it's all fur, it's the same color as the mama's fur. It looks like it just blends right in. But to me, that looked like a baby hanging on.
And you know what? You might be right. And what would I have to type in?
Patterson-Gimlin film.
Okay, just Patterson-Gimlin
what I
film.
would do is go to DuckDuckGo and type it in Patterson-Gimlin film or Patty or something like that, and then go to images, and you should start seeing images of it. That's how I found it.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that because that sound like wow. Yeah, I want to see that for myself. If y'all want to, yeah, see if you can find it, Lee.
Okay, if I can find it, I'm gonna. Can I post it on your?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
If he gonna try to find that, y'all, and I want y'all to look at it too, and see if y'all see what Lee talking about, because that could be a possibility.
Let's see here.
So he said he blew it up on a projector screen. So, yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can copy this image, and then I'm gonna send. Let me get on your Facebook page here. I copied it, so I'm going to send it to you. I hope you guys can see this because the image, to me, it really looks like a baby hanging on the front. Oh, let's see here. Okay. Give me just a minute here, Marvin.
No, take your time. Take your time, Lee. We ain't going nowhere. Take your time because like I said, you make.
Oh my! I'm looking at it again here, blowed up, and it just, oh my God, it looks just like a baby. Like you can see the arm going down under the armpit of the mom.
Oh man, I can't wait to see this. Now y'all got to look at it too, and give y'all when y'all look at it, please leave a comment on what y'all think it is. Leave a comment. Don't just look at it just to be looking and don't say nothing. Leave a comment on what y'all think it really is.
Okay, let me see here, Marvin. Okay. It's the True Encounters with Marvin Allen in the Doug Pack. Okay. Right. I'm getting ready to post it here. I hope everybody can see it good on their computers and stuff. It takes mine a second to load up. Okay, here we go. I'm going to post this for you guys here.
Oh, man, I want to see that. Hold on. Let me know when it's up there, Lee.
Okay. It's I'm getting ready to post it right now.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
It's saying posting.
I'm going to it, and I got to see this real quick. I got you. I'm gonna come back to the call. You still on there though, but I'm gonna just go and look at this.
Okay, you'll be able to see it.
Okay, he just added. I just seen it. Daily Hunter.
Yep.
Let me see. Wow, I see it.
Can you see the rear end of it? And
You
it looks like
absolutely,
the
you know
breast.
what?
And yep.
You absolutely right. And that looked like the head is laying on the shoulder of her, and it looked like his little arm is like up underneath of her arm. You
Yep.
absolutely right.
I think that's a baby. I really do.
You absolutely right. You
Yep.
absolutely right.
And that,
It
that might have
do.
just been a male. That might
It
just be a
do.
male carrying a baby too, Marvin.
It do because that you could tell, and it's a small child
Yeah. And
because
that,
it looked like the hair on his head is
yeah, see
way
the head,
darker. It's way darker than the hair on his back.
right, and it doesn't match the hair on the shoulder of what's carrying it.
You absolutely right. Y'all need to go and check that out. Lisa, look at that picture and tell me what y'all see. Leave a comment. Please leave a comment, y'all, when y'all look at it. I'm gonna leave my comment now because it do.
Oh yeah. That because it almost looks when it just struck me as funny when I saw it blowed up like that. And I got to looking at it and I thought, well, that doesn't look like a breast to me. And that's how they would carry. That's how they would carry something. The baby would grab a hold of the mama and hold on.
Don't forget y'all to leave a comment. It do look like a baby, Lee. You absolutely right, man. I mean, it's just the picture is just amazing, and you blew this up.
Oh yeah.
You blew this up, and I just went on and blew it up for my phone, and it looked like the butt of the baby.
Yep.
And it looked like it just got his head resting right on the shoulder of this creature.
Yep. Like it's hiding its face.
It's hot. That's what it is. The face is facing her face.
Yes.
Because the hair is darker on the head, and you can see the back. The hair is just a different color.
Yep.
Yep. And it looked like his legs is like it's you know how a baby would like tuck his leg up a little bit.
Yes.
Yep. Like the knee going around the side.
Yes.
But it's oh man, Lee. Yeah. You make a good that's a good valid point, y'all. Did anybody see it yet? If y'all didn't see it yet, oh, dude from Texas, you see it? Leave a comment on dude, and tell me what you think. But at least it do look like a baby though. It really do.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like the butt. It looked like the butt of the baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Lisa said the same thing, Lee. She said it looked like a little baby. It really do. It's amazing. Don't forget when y'all look at it, leave a comment. Me and Lisa so far said it looked like a baby, and it do. And Lee. So please leave a comment.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I'm glad I remembered to tell you about that, Marvin, because I thought about that the other day when I saw that. I thought, man, yeah, you can. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know if that's exactly what it is, but boy, it sure looks like it to me. It could be pareidolia, but it sure looks good.
Man, I don't even think that's no pareidolia. For real. I really don't. I really think that's the real deal, Lee. I think you got a good image. You know, I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Think you got a good image, my friend.
Appreciate it. I've never heard of him saying that it looked like it was carrying a baby. Had you ever heard that, Marvin?
No.
I've never heard that. But boy, that thing, to me, that looks real. As real as it can be.
As real as it can be. You absolutely right. You absolutely right.
And I don't believe that was a suit.
Oh no.
They say, oh, that's a monkey suit. No, it wasn't.
That's
there ain't no way.
That's why I trip out, and people. Technology wasn't even that good back then. Even Disney, even that place that Hollywood said they couldn't do nothing like that at the time.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Hollywood couldn't even do that. So we had already got that out of I got that out the way. So we can throw that out the window.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I talked to Bob Gimlin. You know, the guy that was on the
Right.
horseback.
Right.
He didn't take the photograph. The Patterson did, I take it, but he was on a horseback, and he said that he had a 30-06, I guess, and he had it in his hand, but he never pulled it up and aimed it at it. But he said that thing, when he pulled it out of the scabbard when he got off the horse and pulled it out of the scabbard, that's when the thing turned around and looked at him.
Wow.
So the picture that we're seeing with what appears to be a baby is that where he had got off the horse and that thing was looking at him. So
wow.
That's just amazing footage, I think.
Yes, it really is. It is. It really is. You got. That's why I say you got a good. You got a good picture.
Yeah.
That's a good picture, my friend. Absolutely a good picture. Hey, Mr. Carlito.
Glad to be able to share it with you guys. I hope everybody gets a look at it.
What's up, Carlito? Yeah, it's cool. What's up? What's up, Richard?
Is that guy going to share his story, Marvin, or
I'm still trying to wait. He ain't saying. He said he had to go to his neighbor house, so I'm waiting. Richard said that the film. It said Patty was filmed a year before the Planet of the Apes. Okay, so the Planet of the Apes don't look nothing like this.
No.
That's like a primate.
Yes, it is.
Look how wide the nose is. You can see the lips. You can see the eyes. Damn, that look just like a baby. You right about that though, Lee. You got him with that one.
It sure looks like it to me, Marvin. I don't know that it is, but I don't know that it ain't. It just kind of stuck out when I saw it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now look, Lee. Now they asking for me to tell an encounter.
Oh, okay. You want me to let you go so you can
Oh
tell it?
man. Yeah, I mean, wait a minute, what time is it? Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can, Lee. I can go and tell one, I don't mind. And and then we can wrap it up. But thank you for so much. Thank you so much for what days do you go live, Lee? So I won't.
We go on Wednesday nights, about 8:00.
All right, somebody just asked to join. So
Oh, did they? Okay.
yeah,
The random show that I was listening to.
right.
And he was talking to a guy about the Dulce base, and it sounded like this guy was a Native American. And he was talking about, they see the flying triangles. You know what I'm talking about, like the black, like the black wedge-shaped triangles. When he said this, I was just like, man, it blew me away. He said those black triangles that you see are like pieces of a pie, and they're more than one of those craft fit together to make a circle and make a bigger craft.
Right.
Had you ever heard that? Isn't that interesting?
Yes, it is.
I wanted to also tell you, Marvin. There was a lady named Ashley Jacobson, I think is her name, Jacobs, and she was on Central Bigfoot Research Organization, and she had her own show, and I had just found the show, and I had talked to her. When was that? Was that 2 nights ago?
Yeah.
4 nights ago. 4 nights ago, I talked to her on Messenger, and I was messaging her, and she passed away the next day, Marvin. She had a heart attack and died.
Oh yeah.
And she was
You're absolutely right. She live in Alabama.
Yeah, she was one awesome. Had one awesome show, man. And that's a big loss for the Bigfoot world, and I'd just like to say,
welcome, Chris Mills.
Condolences to her family. So. All right, guys. Well, I'll get off here and let you go. I appreciate it, Marvin. It's been a pleasure. I'm sorry if I rambled on.
Oh no,
but, hey,
you never ramble
my-
on. You always give good information. But Lee, I need you to let me know what days that you'll be available.
Okay. I'll text you the days. Okay, Marvin.
Okay, that'll work.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
Enjoyed it like always, and see you later, dog pack.
All right. Good night, Lee.
Bye-bye.
All right. All right, that was good. He came on. That was good to have him come on and telling a counter. We just got a new somebody just called, and that was I think that was Lee again. Indiana. Okay, sorry about that. Somebody was trying to call in. All right, y'all. Y'all know what it is. Do what we do best. Put it up. Everybody put it up. Come on, y'all. Everybody put it up so we can do this. Come on, y'all. Put it up so we can start. That's right. Put it up. Come on, y'all, so we can start. All right, y'all. As always, anonymity means a lot to me. And what can we say about this particular cryptid? What can't we say about it? It's a lot we don't know about it. We have talked to I have talked to so many eyewitnesses, man, and all share one thing in common, and that's they came in contact with this same cryptid, not the same one, but basically the same cryptid, this Dugman creature. Now, this encounter that I'm getting ready to tell y'all now, trying to see where I want to go. Do I want to go north? Do I want to go south? Because I have told encounters in, a lot of different states, and all are really good to me. So I got so many that come from down south and in the north. So I'm gonna go back down there because I got so many good ones that come out of there. So without further ado, let's jump right into this encounter. Now this encounter right here, it happened in North Carolina, and it happened in a little small town. And because of a lot of things went on during this encounter, this sighting, the location, I won't reveal. But anyway, this guy said that one thing he loved it doing, he loved the dogs. He always, ever since he was little, he always had dogs. So he said as he got a little older up in age, he had always loved the pits when he got big. So he had 4 pit bulls. And, he used to get up every day, feed them, and he used to walk them. Now, mind you, he had a little small house. It wasn't real big, and it was, basically, it's like it was really in the woods, but it wasn't. Woods just surrounded his little spot. So He used to get up, feed his dogs, and he used to walk them through the woods. He used to take them on this path all the time. Now, this particular day, when he went to walk his doves, he went to go a different direction. He didn't go the way that he always go. He took a different little path. So he starts to walk down this path, you know, with his dogs, and he used to always, let them run wild because they didn't used to go far because they was really trained. So he, goes down this path that he didn't never take before. So he goes down there. But as his dogs is in front of him and they going down there, boom, instantly, all of them just stop. They just stop dead in their tracks and they just stare and they looking. So he like, what's wrong, boys? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong, girl? So they just still staring in the tree line. So he gets up there where they at and he starts to look. He looking around. He don't see nothing. He said, but that's when this little breeze just kind of blow. And when that breeze blow, he smelt it the most foul odor he ever smelt before in his life. Now, mind you, now he thinking it's something dead. Now he think that that's probably why they stopped, because they smelt it. He didn't know what made them stop in their tracks, but he thinking that that smell might have did it. So they wouldn't go no further, so he turned around and he went back and they went home. He get home, he put him outside, he ties him up because he had like a, stake in the ground, and he used to, tie him up right there. So he goes in the house, he goes in there, he say he was sitting there looking at TV. He said this was during the time when it was just getting ready to get dark. He said so once it got dark, he noticed that the dogs started barking and making a lot of noise out back. So he yelling, shut up, keep saying, telling the dogs, shut up. But they wouldn't stop. They kept on making noise. So he gets up, he grabs his gun, he goes out back, and he look. He don't see nothing. When he goes out there, they stop instantly. They're not barking no more. They focus their attention on him. So he said, stop making all that noise. He talking to him like they really a human. You know what I mean? So they stop. He goes back in the house again. Sit down, watching TV. He said after a few minutes, they started barking again, making noise. He yell out, shut up, stop making all that noise. Plays it off, don't pay him no attention, but they still making noise. So he said during that time when they started making noise, he said he just wasn't gonna get up. This is what he told me. He said he just wasn't gonna get up. They was just gonna make noise. He said that's when he heard, you know how the dogs make noise like they being hurt or something like that. He said that's when he heard that. He said that's when he jumped up, grabbed his gun, and he went out back again. When he goes out back and he looks, one of his dogs is gone. It's gone off of the rope that he tied it around. So he walks down the little path and he's looking. He don't see the dog. He said as he walking towards where the path at, where he goes at, he said that's when he started to see blood. Now, mind you, he got a light in this area, because that's where his dog's at. And the light would reach just a little inside of this tree line. Now he see blood. Now he thinking this dog is hurt, but he like, well, what could have took his dog? That's what he thinking. He don't know. So he walks in a little bit. He don't see nothing. He don't go, once the light stops and he can't see no more, that's the farthest he went. He goes back, he goes in the house, and he gets a flashlight. He goes back out, and he starts back in that trail, and he walk. As he walking, he still see blood. He said when he got about 20, 25 feet inside this wood line, he said that's when he started to see his dug body parts, a head, a leg. Then he see the carcass of his dog, and it was like, it was just the bowel, the bowel, however you say that word, it was just gutted open. And all that stuff was just, it was just all over the place. And he's like, what the could have did this? Now he mad, he really upset, he mad. He leaves, he goes in the house, and he calls the sheriff, he calls the police. They come out, and he tells them, he say, look, I don't know what happened, but something took my dog and killed it. And he took them back there, he showed them where the head ripped off and the legs and all that. And he said, well, what do you think could have did it? He said, man, I don't know. I don't know what did it. That's why I called y'all out here. But something clearly pulled his head off and his legs and stuff. It wasn't done by a person, So he took a report and everything, and he wrote it down. And this is what he tried to tell a guy. He tried to tell him that it could have been a black bear. Now, mind you, it's no black bears down there. So he telling him this, to fuck his story up, because he don't know what it is at the time. So he put it in the report and everything, and that's what he said. So the guy just, he mad, he pissed off, he irritated. He goes back in the house. He say hours pass. He said just before he was about to go to bed, his dogs start racketing again. So he said he don't go out there. He said he looks out his back window. And when he looks out his back window, he said that's when he can see some yellow eye shine standing just inside of that light. This eye shine wouldn't come in the light, he said. He said he seen yellow eye shine. He said, but it was too high off the ground. But he see this black silhouette too. But he don't know what it is. So he looking out the window. His dogs was so scared that they started, how they make that paint noise and pouting and all that stuff. They trying to break, the rope that they was on. They trying to get off of it because whatever that was out there had these 3 pits that was left terrified. So he said at the time, he didn't think about putting them in the house because they used to just tear stuff up. So he left out the window. He didn't even pay the eyes no attention. He goes in his room. They still making noise again. And this time they getting real louder. He goes downstairs. And when he goes downstairs and he opens the door, he said it excuse my language, it effed his head up. He said he seen this thing standing up bipedal with one of his dogs. He said this thing had it by the neck. it was already dead. It wasn't even moving. He said his Doug body was limp. Now, mind you, he said he didn't have a gun in his hand at the time. He said he backs in the house and he grabs his gun. This thing still standing there. Now, mind you, the other two Dougs, they goes inside their little Doug house. They scared. They not making no noise now. But this thing got this other Doug by the neck and it's standing there. The guy said he looked at this thing and seen he said he seen how big it was. Now mind you, he said he only had a 38. He said he know that if he shoot this thing, it's not gonna do nothing to it. Cause he see how massive this thing is. He said this thing just started growl at him. And I asked him, I said, to you, what did this thing look like? He said the head looked it just like, it looked it just like a shepherd, a giant shepherd head. He said, but the head was just so freaking big. He said he never seen no head like this before. He said this thing had arms, hands, it had shoulders, it was muscular, but it had Doug-like legs. He said, so he's standing there watching this thing, and this thing still growling at him. He said he went to raise his gun up, and he pointed, and he aimed it at this thing. He said, but while he aiming it at this thing, he said his hands started to shake. He said his hands was literally shaking. He said, because he's so scared. He said he was so scared he don't pull the trigger. He just aimed the gun at this thing. He said that's when this thing just turned and it just walked away with this Doug still in his hand. He still got this Doug by the neck. And he carries it off up in the tree line. The guy say he was so scared that he pissed himself. He goes in the house. He shuts the door. He gets on the phone and he calls the police again. Now mind you, shift and change. It's a different ones that come out there. And he tells them what he saw. Now, and this the fucked up part, and this the part that made him so mad. They told him the same thing, that it was a bear attack. And he said, man, this wasn't a bear. I know what I saw. He said, look, it was a bear. That's what you saw. He said he was so mad and irritated that he asked them to leave. They did their report. They left. They put all this shit. He said they put this shit in the paper, that it was a bear attack. Now, mind you, he said he loved the Dougs. He said, but after that happened, he got rid of the other two. He said he got rid of them. He said because he don't know what that thing was, and he never saw nothing like that in his life. And his encounter went on, but I don't want to go over the limit. But it's just crazy how people can switch a story up when a person tell them of what they saw. The man know what he saw. Sometimes it ain't even worth calling the authorities because they're gonna switch the whole thing up. They know that these things was out there, but they still would do everything in their power to tell you you saw something else. And that's crazy. It really is. And I just it hurts me, man. That's why I get so emotional when I tell a lot of people encounters, man. I get emotional. It's fucked up. Why these things hate Doug so much? It's sad though, Mud Cricket. It's sad when they switch a story up like that. It really is. It just don't make no sense. Oh, we just almost at that time too. Oh, you can tell people that all day, Dorius. Don't shoot it, but they gonna shoot it anyway. It don't matter. 40 people in the chat. 42 fingers up. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna get some water so y'all can continue to chat, and I'm gonna shut it down when I come back. Okay. Is that some good bones? No, I'm talking about the juice. Huh? Two what? Oh, yeah, yeah, I got it. Oh, that's okay. All right, girl, I'm back. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thanks for everybody for turning out. That's why we do this, because we love to do it. And we're going to continue to do it. We're going to continue to we're going to continue to bring encounters. We're going to continue to live stream. We're going to continue to do this week by week. But if y'all know anybody that had an encounter and would like to come on the show, man, please contact me or one of the moderators to get in contact with them, or get in contact with me. You know, I tell an encounter, or they could come on and tell it their self. We just want more people to we just want more people to open up, and you know, feel free that they can come on here and they can talk about their encounter and don't be ridiculed or talked about. That's one thing about our channel. We not gonna do that. You know, we not gonna do that. You can come here and be who you want to be. You know, you can talk and you can do all that. You not you can be comfortable about what you talking about. You don't have to worry about nobody calling you crazy or nothing like that. You know, that's just like I get a I get a phone call from a friend, and somebody tried to assassinate, you know, my character, you know, and I haven't said nothing to this person, period. But they said something to me, you know, and I haven't said nothing to this person. But that go to show you how a person can have you on their mind, you know. Am I that important that all you thinking about is me? Worry about yourself. Worry about your channel. Worry about what you doing. Don't worry about what Marvin doing. That's what's wrong with people today. But soon as I go off on them, I'm the bad guy. And I'm the type, man, I can't take but so much, you know. I can't take but so much, you know. I'm just cut from a different cloth. I'm not gonna keep letting it. I just can't keep letting nobody. You know how people say turn the other cheek. Well, man, I be turning it so much, man. It's like that motherfucker gets sore after a while. And I'm the type, man. I can't let nobody keep doing that and assassinating my character, yo. Because at the end of the day, I'm um I'm a human too, and I got feelings. My feelings can be hurt. It's just it's hard for me to show it. So when somebody talk about me and assassinate my character, it do something to me. But a lot of people tell me just don't worry about it. You know, don't say nothing to this person. And I see now that I got to be irrelevant or important to him because he keep my name in his mouth. So I'ma just continue to do what I do, and I'ma let him, be miserable because that's what he is, miserable. Because he keep talking about me. I know I'm doing something right. I know I'm liked and I'm loved by a lot of people, and he not. So I'ma just I'ma just keep doing what I do, man. I love doing what I do. I just don't like when people keep assassinating my character, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. People gonna do what they want to do. It's just I ain't that type of person, man. Some things I just let it go. So the best advice I got was to just don't say nothing. I already know, Lieutenant. I already know, fam. I know, dude. But I'ma let it go though. I'ma let them, you know, they said what they said. But this the thing that get me. I responded to it. So instead of them, you know, directing it to me, they directed it to somebody else. And that's the thing that I hate. No, ain't nobody else said it. I said it. So direct it to me. You know what I mean? Don't put nobody else in it. And it's just crazy. But anyway, thanks for showing up. Thanks for showing out. As always, y'all come out every week and we do what we do. Hey, Ann Hollowell. How you doing, my friend? Oh, you already know, Lisa. Hey, but wait till I tell you, though. I tell you. I'm going to tell you. It's crazy, but it's good news. All right, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and upload this. Um, Tonight, it might be later tonight, cause I ain't really gonna be doing nothing. I might just go ahead and tell an encounter on YouTube. So that'll give y'all something to look at. I mean, listen to. That's if y'all want that. Absolutely, I don't mind. I tell it. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I love y'all so much. We got the man. We got the best group out there, and it might get so bad. We don't need 1,000. We don't need 800. You know, we good with what we got and what we get. Y'all really want to hear it, don't y'all? Y'all want to hear another one before I shut down? At least I know you late. Y'all want to hear another one before I shut down? I'm in a good mood anyway. I'm happy now. All right, y'all, let's do this. One more encounter. Okay. Um. Okay, got y'all. One more encounter. Let's go. Without further ado, we're gonna jump right into this encounter. Now, this encounter right here, let me see where I'm gonna take y'all at. Okay, I'm gonna take y'all. We're gonna go to Kings Mountain. I had an eyewitness down there, you know, that had multiple Doug Man encounters. Now, mind you, not gonna, give up her name. So I'm gonna just call her. I'm gonna just call her. I'm gonna just say call her C. Now, C is a female who had multiple encounters. Now, she said she moved to South Carolina, and she used to go to Kings Mountain, just to walk around because it was nice, nice scenery and stuff like that. So she said she get there, she park her car, and she goes, and the little place you can go at, and you can buy things out there. She goes in there and she gets she gets a map. So she gets a map and she find out some good places, to walk and hike and do all that stuff. So she starts off on her journey. Now, mind you, she said it's a part in this park, and it got like a. She said it got like a tree, and it looks like an arch. It looked like something just took one end of the tree, bent it, and stuck it down in the other side of the ground. And you can literally walk under here. Now I've been to this place, and she showed me, and you could walk up under this arch. So she say she walking this path. She goes under this arch, and she gets back on this path. Now, mind you, when she gets on this path that she on, she walks around and she goes down. And so when she goes down, she said it's this little, it's like a small creek, but it's long. It goes for miles. So she say she walk in this creek, right beside this creek. And she said when you walk in it, it's real thick in there. She said the brush is real thick. And now mind you, she down. So she can look like up on, like it's like a little hill way up, and you can get back on another path and walk straight. But she down by this little creek, so she walking it. On the other side of the creek, it's just thick brush and it's just woods. It's just woods for miles. So she walking. She said so as she walking, she say she can hear something to the left on the other side of this creek, but she don't pay it no attention. So she walking. That's when she can hear footsteps following her from the opposite side. But she see nothing. Now, mind you, where she at, the brush is real thick. I've been in here, and the brush is real thick. So she can't. She knows something walking over there. She don't know what, but she can't see it because she would stop, and these steps would stop. She said so. She get a further up, and it's a bend that you would have to turn, and it would go to the right. Now, mind you, This little stream still follows this curve, and the brush is still real thick. So she goes around this curve and she's still walking this path. Now, mind you, she said when she went around this turn, she said that she needed to get back up on the main path because she said now she was, she was getting scared. So she's still walking. She trying to find a way that she could go up. Cause like I said, it's like a little hill that go down, trees that go down. You go down the little wood line, and that's how she got on that path. But she trying to find a path so she can get back up because it's real thick back there. So she's still walking. So she walking, she hear the footsteps again. Boom, 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 boom. And they would stop every time she would stop. So she says she finally get to this little path that she can walk up through these little tree lines to get up there and gets on the main, gets on that main path. So she say she going up. She say as she going up, that's when she hear something coming across the little stream. She don't look back, but she know this thing is in the water. Splash, splash, splash. She hear this thing literally walking across this little stream onto the other side where she at. Now she gets up to the top. When she gets up to the top, she say she paused a little bit. She stopped because she don't hear these footsteps no more. She said that's when something told her, leave. Don't look back, just leave. So she did that. She continued to walk down the straight path. Now, mind you, this park ain't small. I've been there with my team. We even got lost there. But this park ain't small. So she say she walking. She ain't looking at the map no more. She just trying to find somebody to ask them directions to get back, to where the main part at. So she can get in her car and leave. So she say she walking. When she walked, she said that's when she heard these footsteps again. But now, mind you, they behind her now. Boom, boom, boom. When she stopped, these things would stop. So she looking ahead. She knows something behind her, but she not looking in the back. She don't want to see it, but she knows something is behind her. She look in front of her. Now she said in front of her, it leads, I can't think of these kind of rocks. Is they rock quarries or something? I've been there, but I forgot the name of these rocks. It's just a whole bunch of them. And she see this place where all these rocks at. So she walks in that direction, continue to walk in that direction towards where these rocks at. So as she start walking, the steps again. Boom, 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 boom. She said she started walk fast. She said when she started to walk fast, these steps started to walk fast. Boom, 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 boom. She said she get about 15 feet to where these rocks at. And she stopped. Now where these rocks at, it's like a little small incline you walk down and you get on another trail. Now you on a totally different path. Now she ain't on the same side where the water at. But she said she found out that this path that she had got on, it took her back to where she had to get at. So she had stopped there and these steps had stopped. That's when she hears something again. Keep walking. She said she don't know where the voice was coming from. She just kept hearing something saying, keep walking. So she walked. She goes down that little small embankment. She get on that path. She follows it. when she walking down that path, that's when whatever was following her is to her right now. It's up. It's up. And it's walking through this little small tree line. Now, mind you, she down where these rocks at, following this path. This thing is walking up. And now it's literally side by side with her. She say she looks out her corner of her eye and she see this creature. And it's literally walking with her. So she stopped. She stopped and this thing stopped. She said when she did stop this time, that's when this thing started to growl. And she said it made a low growl. She said now she really scared. She said the only thing she had on her was some mace. But she said she look out the corner eye, she see how massive this thing is. She said this mace wasn't gonna do nothing. So she said she just stood there. She wouldn't move for nothing. Now, mind you, this place got multiple trails. So she said after about close to a minute, she said she can hear some people in the distance coming like in her direction, walking her way. She don't see them yet, but they coming her way because it's like a little bend right there you would have to come around, but she knows some people coming that way. She said that's when she see this thing, it just takes off. It takes off to its right and just bolt. Now, mind you, she said she never saw this thing face on. She said she saw it out the corner of her eyes. But she know this thing had a canine head. She could see that this thing had arms. She could see that it had legs. She said it wasn't a human. It wasn't a bear. She said this thing had a dug head. So she know it was some kind of creature. She said when she get back to this, back to where the office at, she goes in there. And she say something to the park rangers in there. She said, look, I don't know if y'all know or not. She said, I went to this part over here where y'all, when you gave me the map at, I went to this part over here because I thought it would be a good place to walk. That's when they tell her, they said, that place over there is off limit. You don't even supposed to go over there. She said, well, nobody told me nothing. I just went over there. She said, y'all got something over there. I don't know what it is. It's walking around. This thing got a dug head. It shouldn't be doing that. Dogs would be walking on fours. And they look at each other. And now she said they go to the side and they start, whispering and talking to each other. And she was like, excuse me, can y'all tell me what's going on? And they said, oh, ain't nothing going on. You can go ahead and leave. She said she was so mad. She said, well, can I see y'all superior or something like that? They wouldn't even let her see nothing like that. They wouldn't let her see her superior or nothing. And she said she was just so frustrated because she said she could tell that they knew something was in this park and they didn't want her to know about it. And that was fucked up. That was just one of her sightings that she had down there. She had multiple ones though. But I do that on the next, on the next show. I'm glad a lot of people showed up. 49 likes. We get 50. Can somebody make it 50? You say Piedmont, North Carolina. Know what? You know where this happened at? This happened in Kings Mountain, South Carolina. Oh, we got 50, y'all. We got it. We got the big 50. What time y'all going on tomorrow, Carlito? It's like people still joining, y'all. When we go, they love it when we go, but they just want to stay on here. I can stay on here forever, y'all. But like I said though, this is what we do. We enjoy doing what we do. Like I said, if y'all got encounters, paranormal experiences, man, feel free to call in. Y'all can always call in. All right, Mr. Carlito. You let them know in the chat too, Mr. Carlito, that y'all going on at tomorrow. You know, cryptid. What is it? Cryptid paranormal junkies going on tomorrow at 8 o'clock, and that'll be Carlito and Tom, and I think their guest gonna be Chris Cyrus. Already, fam. All right, y'all. Y'all ready to shut it down? Hey, Tammy. See, the only thing that make me sad is when people come late and they ain't get to hear the show. But I'ma upload it and y'all get to hear it. I'ma still upload something on YouTube. We got 51 likes. Hey, that's good. That's good. All right, y'all. As always, we go live on Sundays. But sometimes we'll be we're in a good mood and we got a guest. We'll do it like one day of the week, another day of the week. So sometimes we be pushing three. But as always, thank y'all for showing up and showing out. Thank you, Southern Guy. Thank you, Mud Cricket. Thank you, Tracy, Mr. Carlito. Thank you, Jay Reed. Thank you, Claire, Lieutenant. Man, thank everybody for showing up and showing up. And I'll see y'all on the next True Encounter. Good night, y'all.